am claiming that they are preserved even to this level of differences.
But did you say it was preserved to the dot?
Yeah, he's not saying dot now.
I said, look.
I'm just asking.
Listen, I have to bring it over.
The questions they ask about the Quran, valid questions, academic questions, which we are happy to answer. When we apply the same questions to the biblical text, you have no legs to stand on. The reality is, the Quran is preserved word by word from the Prophet. Is the Gospel of Mark? Is it preserved word by word as Mark wrote it? Well, that's the treatment you deserve.
You simply chastise Christians for the same thing. The same thing you accuse Bob of, interrupting conversations, not waiting, not being patient. I've been waiting 10 minutes to ask one simple question. I have become every
You won't find it. Because if you're talking the speech of Allah, fair enough. There's no better speech than the speech of Allah. Yeah? But if you're talking about hadith, as in what Muhammad Rasulullah done, it's in the Quran to follow Allah and follow the Prophet. It's in there. You're not going to find it, right? You know what? I'm going to do another circle.
I wanted to find something different. Because
why are you going into something else?
Because you said obey the messenger. Yeah. So I've got this hadith where when
Where's the hadith from? Who's the narrator? Don't just pick out hadith.
Bukhari narrated by Ibn Abbas.
Yeah, go on.
So before the Prophet died, he asked for a pen and paper to write on.
Yeah.
The Sahaba did not obey him. And I'm going to ask you, why did they not obey him? Because you said...
I studied it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say something I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. But
if I study that, I'm not going to be able to...
That's fine. If I give it to you, next week I'll ask you on it. Because I've got discussions. I've got to find out.
You're not going to bring someone more knowledgeable.
Okay, I'll come back to you then. We'll discuss this. Alright, thank you.
Straight.
Wait. Let him cool talk. Hold on. It doesn't matter what you're going to say.
Let's leave it for proper discussion.
Yeah, Mansur.
Look at it. Do you want a ladder debate?
A ladder debate?
Yeah. I nominate you and who was
A debate about what?
I nominate you and what's this guy's name? Douglas. Oh no, Douglas is not here. Who's the guy who believed David is not a prophet?
The who?
Godwin. Please arrange a debate between you and Godwin.
About what?
Anything, and debate on the ladder, and we can watch on Soco Films or local films. Yeah. And
okay.
So, yeah.
Thank
you. Let me continue with my film.
Okay.
Okay. See you later.
No. Oh, with you.
No, with Godwin.
No.
I want to enjoy your debate with Godwin.
No, I want to discuss something with you.
Not interested. Why do you want to discuss with me? I'm a Tom, Dick and Harry.
Because you bought your certificate of Arabic, so I want to discuss some Arabic terms with you.
So you know Arabic?
That's what I'm asking you about.
I'm asking you, do you know Arabic?
No.
Then what you discuss?
Because I want you to explain to me.
Can we get some more cameras other than Soco Films cameras? You know what Soco Films is?
That's fine.
So start recording and get the other brothers. No, I'm not going to discuss with you, but I want all this discussion.
But
do you know what happened?
I don't know what it is. I've never seen it. But listen to this.
You know what happened?
If I don't understand Arabic,
excuse me.
You have a certificate. No. I'm just going to say 1 minute because you don't know what I'm going to ask you. You said, do I know Arabic? So I said, I just wanted to ask you something about Arabic so you can explain to me because you have a certificate in Arabic. Yes? That's all I've asked. I don't need to know. All I want to, yeah, you can teach me. I've got a simple question about Arabic, and you can just inform me.
Let's wait for the other comments to come. Okay. You know what happened? I was discussing with some Christian people that came, having a nice discussion, and of course, they felt really like,
maybe
discussion.
Adnan can
hang on. You
can help
read it
as
up
well.
later on.
help you.
You know what happened? Now, I want once I record, start recording,
help you.
because I want to expose this guy on my right, and just notice who this guy is. Right?
Do not subscribe.
Right, I want to expose this guy, and I want you to then compare. Tell me on your recording. Then I'll come back to you in a moment, right? I want to really show to the whole world people's integrity, right? So I was discussing with some Christians over there, some girls, some ladies, right? And of course, what happened is this. As usual, as you know, their understanding got corrected by Muslims. I don't take credit for that. It's something that everyone else is doing the same thing, because it's an understanding that the Christians are not learning from. So when they are exposed to the Muslim interaction, they learn that this is the case. So Bob comes along and he wants to interject. Fine, he can interject. So he comes along while I was about to go to, because I only came for a slight time period, because I have to go to a wedding, right? People think, dress for the occasion. I don't come in my wedding dress. I'm not getting wedding in my first place. I go home and they get changed. But what happened is, this guy, this individual, Soco Films, because I'm exposing Soco Films now, right? So take his picture on his face as well, he's smiling. So what he does, so he comes along in the middle of a discussion with Bob, when I said, look, I'm not interested in the discussion right now. If you really want to debate and discuss, I asked him, do you want to debate? He says, yes. I said, fine. We will debate on a ladder properly. Now, name me. What's your name? Because I don't want to debate a cartoon character. I want to debate a real person. What do you want to debate? The topic and the day of the debate. I want to know when you want to debate so I can give you the time for you to prepare. So we will organize a proper debate, because you're so much become a heckler in the park, like with everyone else. So you will come here to heckle me, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. If you really want to debate, we will debate on the ladder. Guess what happened? Soco Film recorded this like everyone else. Have you seen? I want all to go and watch his edition or watch his mutilation of the event that was recorded. He presents himself as if like Bob comes along and asks me for a debate, and I don't want to debate, I run away. And all his fan base saying, Mansur, look at that, he's so scared to debate. He never put up the whole conversation when I am offering Bob a proper opportunity to debate on the ladder, not a shouting contest like what he's good at.
So Fox News tactic.
Yeah, shouting contest. I say, we will debate on the ladder, a proper debate. So you just need to arrange a time, a date, and tell me your name. So I'm not going to debate Dennis the Menace or Bob the whatever in a cartoon character. I'm going to debate a real person. That was the condition that I left. Did this individual, you, Mr. What's your name? What's your name? Shameless individual. Didn't put any of that. Why? I'm asking you now, because it's between you and me. Why did you mutilate the discussion and not put up the discussion where I said clearly, and many other recorders, many other channels recorded it, right? Why? Oh, now he likes my haircut. Why did you mutilate and not put up my offer of a proper debate? Because that's what I was asking Bob to do. Why? Yes.
Okay, debate it now.
So,
go on. I want you to respond. Because you are now accused of intellectual dishonesty. You are now accused of what? A man who has no integrity. One moment, my friend. A man who has no integrity. A man who has no shame to mutilate the conversation.
I have a better question.
Right.
How do you expect to spread the gospel like that?
Yeah. I want you to respond.
Why would you spread your gospel by lying? By manipulating?
You criticize the Bible on a daily basis.
So that means you can lie on us.
Someone challenges your Quran, your cop-out is you don't know Arabic. Just like you told this brother a couple of minutes ago. Yeah. So if you don't know Arabic,
this is another tactic again.
Why should I discuss the Arabic with you
stop.
if you don't speak the Arabic?
I asked
That's what
this individual,
to Paperboy,
how does he intellectually justify his dishonesty and the lack of integrity? What was his response? No, I'm not going to speak to you, my friend, until he gives us a reason why he mutilated the video and tried to present as if I ran away from his friend, his champion, Bob the Destroyer, or what is it? Bob the Builder, a cartoon character. Now, why do you have lack of integrity, and why are you intellectually dishonest? Answer. 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 Answer.
Can we?
That's what he used to say. Answer. No, my friend. Our discussion will never begin until this continues.
Let me set the record straight.
Go ahead.
When I got into the discussion, I got late into the discussion of that debate that you were having with a American tourist on the divinity of Christ, right? And then both challenged you on that particular topic. And then 5 minutes later, that's when I came in. So I came late into the discussion.
So that means you're going to change.
Hold on a second, which means that I did not intentionally edit it the first 10 or 15 minutes.
It wasn't the first, it was later.
Simply because I came late into the discussion.
Okay.
So the title of the video,
apology accepted.
Hold on a second. The title of the video that I put there was quite simply the truth. I said Mansur that Mansur doesn't want to answer about Christ's divinity because he needs to attend a wedding. And that's exactly what you said on camera. So I don't know why you're calling me a deceiver.
I'll tell you why you're a deceiver. I request everyone to go and watch the clip that he put up.
Yeah, on content of everything.
Wait a second. You can actually look at the time frame because the event happened in a timeline. It wasn't where time froze, right? Time went from past, present to future on a timeline. So when we compare several channels recording that was recorded, you can get the timeline when it started.
Let
me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish, you intellectually dishonest individual. Intellectually dishonest individual, let me finish. Because that's what you'll be known as, with no integrity. So when we compare all the video recordings, you will see that you are actually there. Even when I was making that statement. But when you didn't only do that, you actually cut the conversation. So anyone, they can follow the clips from every single channel and compare and see where he's cutting it off. So he was there and he was recording, but he changed. Excuse me, no. So it is not an excuse that I wasn't there. No, it is not. Hang on. Oh, you want to debate him? Okay, that's fine. Go on, debate him.
I want to listen to you.
No, go on, debate him.
But he's not debating him. He's not debating him. You can't force him to debate him.
So now what we have is this. This individual is still trying to cover up his lies. Lying once isn't good enough. He lies again to cover up his lies. Do you know about the lies? Do you know something about the lies?
You lie about the Quran,
if you lie once,
you lie about the Quran.
You have to break up so many other lies to cover up your lies.
Been preserved.
Right.
Door by door.
So another accusation.
You've been thoroughly
another accusation.
DCCI has
now I'm actually debating him. Do you know what's happening?
Why you're upset with me.
These individuals have no integrity. I made statements even before the debate with Hatun. The one who squeaks, what's it called? Screams.
Right?
Yeah, what's the point? What's your point? Get to the point.
The point that he's just made now. I never said in any of my interaction. You see, he cut me off. I never stated in any of my interactions ever in this park or in my recorded appearance anywhere else that the Hafs Qur'ans, for example, are exactly the same. We even had a discussion on the ladder. It's recorded in SC Dawa channel.
But you did say not a dot on
where
letters.
we showed from a big chart where all the differences, even in articulation, whether you say wasama or wasama, do you see the differences in elongation?
But do you admit you
excuse me, I'm
not a
making
dot
a
has
point.
changed? I'm just asking.
Excuse me, I said.
Do you admit you said that?
I said that they are preserved even to those differences of sounds, right?
But did you say not even a dot has changed?
Listen.
I'm asking just a question.
Try to listen and then
I'm asking if he said that.
I said that they are all preserved. And what happens is some people with comprehension problem, and it seems to be the majority of the Christians here, unfortunately, they come along and say, oh, Mansur said, they're all the same. They're all the same. How many videos can you go and see?
But did you say not a dot has been changed?
I said they are preserved even to the dots. Do you know what dot means in the transmission of
But
the Quran.
did you say not a dot has been changed?
No, I never said that.
Okay.
That is my claim.
Are you
But
pretending
people
to
like
understand,
him,
or do you?
I'm
do you
just
not
like
asking.
him.
He's making his claim because it
People
is on
like him,
video.
and
So
the
if
one-
he's repeating it,
No.
he's just going to put the
Do you
past
want
video.
to understand? Is the first question.
but I'm asking
do you
for clarification.
do the Christians want to understand? That's the first question.
I'm-
Do they
100%
actually want to
I'm
understand the
asking for
Islamic
clarification.
perspective?
I'm asking for
If you do,
clarification.
listen
no,
to him.
No, I'm asking. No,
Yeah.
See what you're saying from an Islamic perspective. That's fine. I'm asking his exact words.
My
What did
exact
he
words.
say?
My exact words is
Do you understand? Not what the Islamic
Listen
perspective.
carefully
FC Dawa
Yes.
channel, right?
Please
I
listen
said
carefully.
they are preserved, even to the souls, right? You know how they're preserved? Let me tell you what a dot is. Do you know what a dot is in the Quranic reading? What is a dot?
Go on, explain.
Look, yes, what is a dot in a reading? I never said it's in reading. I'm talking about how they are transmitted in the mushafs. In a reading, when you read them, they are pronounced the same, right? The words. There is not even an additional chapter or a surah. There is no additional ayah or a verse. There is no additional or omission of a word. It's exactly the same. This is what it is. In the reading of the Hafs.
So you didn't mean a literal dot.
So when I talked about the Mus'haf, I said the preservation, even to this level. For example, I even used the example of da'ufa, du'fin and da'fin. Now let me ask you, do you hear the difference? Da'fin and du'fin. Is there a difference? Yes. There is a difference. So when I said even to that difference between a haraka, a vowel, right, of a or u, even to that level is preserved. Now, if someone comes along and says, oh, it means there is no change even to this, what are you going to say? Is that what I'm claiming?
You asked for three differences between the words
I'm claiming that they are preserved even to this level of differences.
But did you say it was preserved to the dot?
Yeah, he's not saying dot now.
I said,
not saying dot.
look.
I'm just
Listen,
asking.
I have to bring it up.
He's
the problem.
he's
Wait,
I
no,
said
but
exactly
I don't.
what I said
You
already.
are talking about intricate academic.
Absolutely. Right.
These guys, unfortunately,
They-
are not able to understand what you're talking about.
In other words-
You can bang your head against the wall all day.
But there's
What
Islamic
is a dot?
definition.
What is a dot?
I'm just asking for
Let me tell you,
clarification on your own
a
words.
dot in
Yes.
the Islamic academic understanding, right, is when you write something in the dot, in Quranic manuscripts, it refers to either a diacritical point to differentiate between, say, ba and a ta, or a noon or a ya,
You have a Muslim.
or
Everyone has a Muslim.
vowelization, that you make them into different vowels.
So let's agree. If
that's-
you use the phrase preserved to the dot, you were using the Arabic.
Can you read it?
Arabic def.
Can you read it?
I can't read it. No.
So what are you talking about?
No. Listen to me.
How can we
He's
explain?
spoken for very
if you,
long.
no, it's not a cop out. Let me explain something to you. If we are discussing a text,
Yes.
and the questioner has no idea as to how that text is put down, written, the traditional way of writing it, or how the traditions. Wait. Let me finish.
You're complaining two different
Wait,
things.
wait,
We're
wait,
saying
wait.
his
How
explanation.
can he possibly explain a
His
phenomenon to you you
No,
do
no.
not understand?
But his wording
Use
is
the
now
word dot
changed.
while speaking English
changed.
language.
So where's the
No,
dot?
no,
Please show me the dot.
Listen, if the brother used the word dot while speaking English, we assume he's referring to the English definition of a dot, not the Arabic
Your
definition.
assumption is, you are faulty with your assumption. So now, that's why,
So we assumed you meant an English
no,
dot.
so
If
you
meant an
assumed,
Arabic
you
dot,
assumed wrong. Did you ask for clarification?
it shouldn't be needed.
And of course it's needed. We were
Why
talking
should it
about,
be necessary?
we are
Speaking
talking about,
English,
no.
I assumed that
Why are you arguing with him?
We are.
You asking him, and you don't know. No, wait. You don't.
try and
Okay.
understand.
First, let me ask you. Are you asking him or arguing with him?
I'm attempting to understand him.
Okay. In that attempt, there is a basic prerequisite,
Yes,
and
and
that
he
is
used the word dot,
to pay
and he meant
attention
the
and listen.
Arabic.
Right, ladies. You cannot argue with him.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
Sure.
I'll tell you why.
No, go on.
Because you do not have the knowledge he has.
I do not know.
Okay, on that topic. Okay, right. So don't argue with
We're
him.
not arguing about the
Ask
Arabic.
him and listen to the
Everything you said
answer
about
and leave it as
diacritical
that.
points, vowelization, I have no
If you
issue
want to argue, demonstrate the ability
Yep.
to argue on that particular topic. If you don't have the ability to
I do not
argue on
wish
that
to
particular
argue on that
topic,
particular
then
topic.
listen, please.
Okay, can I say a sentence?
You are either teaching
Brother,
or
I'm gonna say a
learning.
sentence. Tell me if it's true or false.
Go,
yeah?
go.
Did you use the word dot in that phrase? And is it wrong of us to assume that you meant the English definition?
Can you
of the
quote
dot?
me exactly?
I'm going to brother here. I haven't watched the video
even by
myself.
the
Then
dot,
don't make me
the
say anything
letter,
like that.
the
No,
vowel.
no,
Okay, maybe he can quote me. Quote me exactly.
Let me ask you.
I can
He's been
paraphrase.
preserved even to the
Paraphrase.
dot.
That is your
letter,
mistake.
Can we find the
vowels,
video?
and sound. That's
Yeah,
your
go
word.
ahead. Take the video.
No, we're
and-
arguing about a very small point.
Don't misquote me
Just
because
say
we
yes
know.
or
He's avoiding
Did
me.
you say the
I'm
Quran
quoting
has been
exactly how you
preserved
said
to
it,
dot? Yes or no?
Listen, what I said.
You say the Christians never give you a yes or no answer. I'm asking for a yes or no answer.
Excuse me, my friends, right? You are here trying to misquote me, as you've been doing all along.
So the answer is no, you didn't say that.
So the answer is, what did I say? Then say, did I say that? Go back to what I said.
If you didn't say that,
No,
then why are you
go
defending
back to
you?
what I
No,
said.
we're going on a tangent. Can we
ahead.
have our discussion?
You know what he said?
No, but
Do you remember
can we
what
have
he
our
said?
I'm trying to ask
ahead.
you what
No,
he
but
said,
this
and he's not
started
giving
off
me a yes or no
with
answer.
you ask it.
Play it, and then we talk about
I
it.
want to
Did he
discuss
use
something
that phrase,
different with you.
Adnan? Did he
No,
use that phrase?
otherwise we talk about something else.
Yeah, let's talk about something else. Why?
Because we know
Yeah.
what the Quranic preservation means.
Yes or no answer.
And the
Adnan.
Christians are
Yeah.
the last people on the planet to talk about preservation.
Okay.
Okay, if the questions they ask about the Quran, valid questions, academic questions, which we are happy to answer.
Okay.
When we apply the same questions to the biblical text, you have no legs to stand on. You guys are a bunch of hypocrites. You guys, it's like kettle telling the pot. It's like kettle telling the pot black.
Let me.
You know the problem is,
Let me
they
ask you-
can't even quote me right.
Yes.
With how incapable they are.
I can't.
He memorized it. Go ahead.
He said the Quran has been preserved even to the dot, letter,
Yes,
sound, and vowel.
yes, we stand by that.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
we stand by that. Yes,
Sorry, so why
yes,
are you calling us a liar then?
yes.
That's what he demonstrated.
why you
Fin and
call us a liar
Dofin,
then?
even to the dot, which
let me
represents a vowel,
ask you,
even
Adnan,
to that
because
level.
he's going off.
No,
on a-
wait. What is our claim? Let me put it simply so that you understand. Our claim is that we have every single word of the Quran transmitted to us directly from the Prophet. This is what our claim is. Now look at your face. Can you turn the camera to his face? No, wait. This is what I claim. And we will stand by. I want you to make the same claim about Mark. I want you to make the same claim about Mark. Can you make the same claim about Mark? Gospel of Mark. Mark, Luke, John. Can you make the same claim? Can you repeat my words? Can you repeat my words? We claim that the Gospel of Mark has been transmitted to us in the very wording he wrote. Repeat that. Can you claim that? Can you claim that?
Are you saying
Can you claim that? Repeat.
So you're
Can you? Hello? Why have you gone? Don't stop. Okay. Wait. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat? This is how you are a bunch of hypocrites.
Okay.
This is why we don't like talking to people like you.
Let me.
That's why, because you are a bunch of hypocrites.
Okay.
You throw something at us, and you guys, as I said, the kettle telling the pot you're black.
You've made a very good point. Now,
You can never repeat that claim. Any Christian here, any Christian missionary or activist or scholar or a student, whoever you are, can you make this claim? The Gospel of Mark has been transmitted to us in the very wording Mark wrote once upon a time.
Okay.
I want you, anyone who is able to say these words. Anyone. The answer is no. The answer is no. The answer is no.
Okay.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So can you help us by repeating my words?
Wait.
Can you make that claim?
We're talking about.
Okay. Can you repeat after me?
We're talking about source
The
primacy.
Gospel of Mark.
Yes.
This guy's very brave.
Let's
He keeps coming
talk
forward.
about source primacy.
Yes.
I'm going to give everyone a definition
Wait.
of source primacy.
No. I want to stick to the topic.
No.
You're talking about the Quran.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it till 11
Yes.
o'clock at night.
That's fine.
I've got 5 hours. No
Yeah,
problem.
okay.
Okay, wait. Now we're going to do that. Before we do that, however, let's be fair with each other. We make a claim about the Quran. Let's hear my claim.
No.
We claim that every single word taught by the Prophet Muhammad as the Quran has reached us uninterrupted, yes, it has reached every single word. Did you hear my claim?
Yes, I
every
did.
single word.
Now,
Now, make the same claim about the Gospel of Mark.
No.
No.
Wait.
Let's-
No.
Hello?
You're not making
Wait. You're not making that claim. So on what basis? On what basis are you questioning the Quran when you guys cannot make the same claim?
Let me make my point.
It's like I'm a drinker. I'm a drunkard. I come to you. Why do you drink? Man, you're a drunkard. Man, you're a drunkard. I sniff cocaine. God forbid, I sniff cocaine, and I come to you and I condemn you. Why do you sniff cocaine?
Let me ask my question.
why are you
let
such a crackhead?
let me ask.
You would tell me, get lost, man.
Let me
go and fix yourself.
Let me answer my question.
So the point is,
let me ask my question. You
Tell him to
answer
get
the
lost
point.
one more time.
if you want me to spend my 5 hours explaining the procedure to you, then we need to be equal. We need to be equal. Equality is, I'm making a claim, then you make the same claim.
He's spoken about address this. Now I've been waiting to make a point.
Can we have a conversation?
Yes, we can have a conversation.
Can you make the same claim?
Let me now ask my question, because you were talking about source primacy.
I'm asking a very simple question in the English language. Can you make the same claim I made about the Quran?
Let me say.
Can you make the same claim about the New Testament I made about the Quran?
You
don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need
I've been
to.
waiting.
Answer the question.
I've been waiting to speak.
Can you answer the question?
You said you.
And I hope you put this video up on your Coco channel, right?
It's just tangent.
And don't change, don't edit, don't cut out Coco.
Now.
Okay.
You were talking about
my brothers. I can see why you're upset. I can see why you don't let me talk. I know.
I've waited for Mansur.
I want to play a simple game.
I
want to play a game which is simple. I'm making a claim about the Quran. Can you make the same claim about Can you make the same claim about the New Testament? I'm waiting for an answer for the past 10 minutes.
I allowed you to speak.
He's going to answer that question.
No, I'm not going to answer.
Answer my question.
No, you are
I allowed you to speak.
If you don't answer, there's no discussion.
See, look at this.
Yes, there is no discussion.
Wait. Okay, let's get quiet. When I came, he said he wanted to address his
Forget
point
about coming
first.
and going.
No. Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
because I've been waiting to speak. When I came,
you guys were standing there.
Can I make my point?
Thinking
can I
as
make
if you have a point. You don't have a point.
Can I make my point?
point.
Can I make my point?
Yeah.
That was not my discussion that I wanted to talk about.
It doesn't matter.
But now, Mansur was talking.
Matter.
He said, let him make his point to the camera. I've been waiting patiently. I said I had a camera.
And then you were asking him. Remember, when you were poking him every 5 seconds. Dot. Remember that. Now when we come to it, you don't want to talk about it.
That was not my intention of the discussion. That was not my intention of the discussion. So now.
And now you don't have. Now you don't have any words.
Can I speak?
Wait.
Why are you interrupting?
Let's not deceive your Christian audience. Let's not deceive your Christian audience. Let them know the reality. The reality is the Quran is preserved word by word from the Prophet. Is the Gospel of Mark? Is it preserved word by word as Mark wrote it? Simple question.
I want to answer
Simple question. Can you answer the question?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you know?
Yeah, the last few verses in some Bibles is there, in some Bibles it's
not. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not talking about the ending of Mark. Yeah. I'm talking about the entire Gospel of Mark. Can you make that claim? I'm repeating my claim. The Gospel of Mark has reached us as Mark wrote it in wording.
Okay.
Can you make
it has reached us as according to the manuscripts, but some other manuscripts have additional bits.
Have you studied the manuscripts?
No.
You haven't?
No.
So how do you make that claim?
Because I read about it.
Because someone else
So you have studied about it?
Okay.
I studied a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So
but we're not making
wait.
We're
Okay.
not making it because
that's fine. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. So do you admit?
You got a loud voice.
Do you admit that you do not have the Gospel of Mark in wording as Mark wrote it? Yes?
Yes.
We do have it.
No, you don't have it.
No.
I'm saying you don't have it.
In some Bibles, there are some additional verses. In some other Bibles,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe
do you know about the variants?
Clearly not.
You don't know the variants. How many manuscripts of Mark do we have? Where is the oldest manuscript? Where is the oldest manuscript? Where's the papyri?
I don't know.
Where is the papyri? I've seen it. I'm going to see it.
Good.
I'm so serious about it. I'm going to see it in Chester Beatty Library.
He doesn't want to have a discussion.
Okay. In Ireland, I've been to see it. Okay. Now we have the answer. The answer is we do not have Mark as Mark wrote it in wording. So if not, why do you want to talk about the Quran?
Because I had a question.
If you sniff cocaine, why do you want to tell him why do you want to tell me I'm the crackhead? Because if you sniff cocaine, why do you want to tell me I'm the crackhead?
If the Quran is the direct word of God, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Now,
now you've admitted the Bible is corrupted, the New Testament is corrupted.
I haven't made
any... How is it not corrupted? How is it not corrupted?
No.
Let's talk about it. Who wants to talk? You want to talk?
I want to just have a discussion about something else.
He's saying it's not corrupted. Do you agree with
I want to have a discussion about something else.
He's saying the New Testament is not corrupted.
I have a question about something else.
But you can go on.
You want to change the topic now?
Yes.
You want to change the topic? He wants to change the topic now.
To change the topic to the one I wanted to originally ask.
Because we can't talk about the Quran when you guys cannot make the same claim.
All right.
If you're naked, why are you telling me I'm naked?
Can I make a point and then
I'm
you
not
can address
naked.
it?
I've got clothes on.
Right.
You're naked.
Okay.
Yes. You don't have a book that's preserved.
So
we have every single word.
Is
Every single word of the Quran came from the Prophet Muhammad.
What about the stuff that was burned?
Yeah, I was
What
thinking
about
about
that
In his life. In his lifetime.
What about the,
You don't know what you're talking about, so leave it.
Okay, let me ask you something. You were talking about source primacy, and I'm going to give everyone a definition of source primacy that we can agree on, and we can start.
Can we apply the same definition to the New Testament?
Can
we do that?
Can I speak without being interrupted?
For some reason,
without being interrupted. Can I speak first and then you address?
You can.
Okay. I said I'm going to give everyone a definition of source primacy.
I
said I'm going to give everyone a definition of source primacy.
Are we going to apply the same definition to the New Testament? Yes or no?
Alright, let me make my point. So everyone can hear.
Why can't you say yes or no?
Let's just start.
Are we going to apply the same definition to the New Testament? Yes or no?
Let's give everyone let people understand what you're talking about. So source, this is a source. But listen.
Are we going to apply the same definition to the New Testament? Yes or no?
Look, let me make
Obviously
my point.
there's a problem.
Let me make my
Obviously
point.
there's a problem
Let me make my
which you
point.
don't want to talk about.
Let me make
and
my
this
point.
is what I'm talking about. The problem. The problem is
the
kettle telling the pot you're black.
You criticize Christians.
Yeah.
I've been here waiting for 10 minutes. I've not been able to
that's
make
the
my
treatment
point.
you deserve.
But you simply chastise Christians for the same thing. The same thing you accuse Bob of, interrupting conversations, not waiting, not being patient. I've been waiting here 10 minutes to ask one simple question. I have been cut every single time. Can I make
intellectual dishonesty?
Yes. Can I make my point?
Okay.
That I've been waiting 10 minutes.
You want to talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds.
10 things. But you haven't even given me 10 seconds.
Okay. 10 seconds.
You give
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I'm saying Quran is not corrupted. Every
Okay.
single word of
You
the
said
Quran
yes.
can be traced back to the Prophet of
To the-
Islam.
and
wait.
From the Prophet.
I'm saying the New Testament is
Wait. From
again.
the Prophet.
10 seconds and you
You
can't
said
let me
wait.
speak.
You said from the Prophet.
10 seconds.
I'm just asking.
10 seconds.
Okay, go and speak.
10
Okay,
seconds.
go and speak.
I'm saying the Quran, every single word of the Quran, the current Quran, can be traced back to the Prophet in the Arabic language. I'm saying none of the Gospels, not even a word, can be traced back to the original authors. I'm making that claim.
Okay.
Do you want to discuss it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Let's talk about it.
Wait. Now,
Let's talk about
I'm
it.
not gonna. Now, you from the Prophet. Where did the word come from?
What word?
The Quran. What he spoke. You said it can be traced to the Prophet. So from the Prophet, where did it come from?
It has been transmitted orally, verbally,
Yeah.
by
But-
person to person. Listen now.
No,
answer. My answer.
no,
you asked me a question.
I'm clarifying.
You can't clarify
Who
what
gave the
I haven't
prophet
said yet.
Who gave the Prophet the word? Is what I'm asking.
God.
Okay, so from
We
God.
believe Angel Gabriel. Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
Yes.
So now I will make my comment about source primacy, so everyone can understand. So I've just gone on to.
So we're gonna. No.
Don't interrupt.
Now, yeah,
Don't
let
interrupt.
me have
Why?
my 10 seconds.
Okay. 10 seconds.
So
Go on.
source primacy. It says I'm just so you can say if you agree or not. Primacy sources, as the authors of primacy sources at Yale define them, so provide first-hand testimony or direct evidence concerning a topic under investigation created by witnesses or recorders who experience the events or conditions being documented. In other words, they are the raw materials as opposed to the products of research. Do you
And your
agree
point
with that?
is.
Do you agree with that?
Your point is.
In terms of source primacy, do you agree?
Well, what's your point? Make your point.
Okay.
You read a statement. What's your point?
So
from
the
it?
question I
Yes.
had come to Mansur to ask is where the name Isa came from.
How is that relevant to our discussion?
Because
The corruption of the Quran and the Bible.
No.
You're talking about. I'm talking about apples. You want to talk about pears.
Let me. If I just.
I only got involved. I only got involved in this discussion.
Then you will find out.
Okay, where is the definition from?
Where did the name? I'm just saying, do you agree with it? Yes or no?
No, I'm not going to just argue on Tom, Dick and Harry definition. Where is this from?
Why do we have to agree with it?
You don't have to.
No, where
I'm
is the
asking
definition
what
from?
is your
What's your point?
What is
I
your
wanna hear your
definition of
point.
source
I wanna
primacy?
hear your
Where is this
ultimate
definition
point.
from?
Where is it from?
Yes.
Google.
It's Yale's definition.
Of what?
Source primacy. The definition of what?
Source primacy of what?
Because you said transmission of information. So we have to know, because you even asked about Mark, even though that's not what my debate was, but you said, how did we know we get that direct from Mark? That is source primacy.
Amazingly, none of you were saying anything.
No, but is
you
that
were
source?
dumbstruck,
Is that
all
source?
of you.
Is that?
Because you know the problem. Because you're hypocrites. You know the problem. You don't talk about it.
Does that come under source primacy?
Talk.
Does that come under source primacy?
I'm sorry if I come out straight.
Source
That's how I am.
primacy. Read that again. So he said you're going to apply that to your text as well, right? Because that's what we mean agreement. Agreement means we agree on a common definition which can be applied to your scripture, my scripture, and everyone else's scripture. So let's read it again.
I wanted to speak about the Quran.
No, let's read. No. It has to be a consistent
You can
definition.
talk about the Quran. We're happy. We're happy to talk to you about the Quran. We will teach you. We'll sit you. We'll give you notebooks and pencils and a table and a chair and all of that. No problem.
All right.
Why do you want to talk about it when your own gospels cannot be substantiated by the same standard? Why?
Because
if you're interested, then
wait.
Okay,
let me answer your question. Because we know the New Testament was transmitted by eyewitnesses. The Quran, as you stated, came directly from
that's
God.
Not true. You just made a claim you cannot substantiate. Let's talk about it.
No.
New Testament was transmitted by eyewitnesses. Let's talk about it.
Wait.
Was Luke an eyewitness?
Yes.
Was Luke an eyewitness?
Wait.
Wait on. Which John? There are three candidates.
Because my claim will address this.
You had no
10,000 companions.
Will address this.
We know them by name.
If you let me make my claim.
We believe Muhammad.
Okay.
We believe Muhammad.
If you let me make
no one has to be there. We believe Muhammad. No one has to be there. Muhammad is the prophet of God. We have reasons to believe that. We have reasons to believe that. The point is now.
The point is you got no witnesses.
Do I look scared by any stretch of imagination?
Let me bring my discussion
have his
topic.
discussion on this source primacy.
Yes.
Read it again, and then we will see
Yes.
how consistent you are in applying that definition.
First we'll go to the Quran.
No,
because that's
read
what I
the
came.
definition
Yes,
first.
I'll read the definition.
We're not going to first go
So
there.
this, I'm just going to read straight from the website.
Where did the Isa come from?
Okay, it says primary sources, as the authors of primary sources at Yale define them, provide first-hand testimony or direct evidence concerning a topic under investigation, and are created by witnesses or recorders who experience the event or conditions being documented. In other words, they are the raw materials as opposed to the products of research.
100%.
Can I just read that again?
We agree with it.
Now-
We stand by it. We'll substantiate it.
Wait. I don't. I'll tell you what.
Okay, why?
Primary sources, right? First-hand testimony of direct evidence concerning a topic
We have
under
it.
investigation.
We have it.
Now, to be consistent, right? Let me give you an example. The Old Testament talks about how Adam and Eve were in the garden. Who was writing this? It must be a primary source, right? Written by the first-hand testimony or direct evidence concerning a topic. So this is not giving us a primary material. It's a secondary source. Because he was not present in the Garden of Eden. Wait a moment.
Okay.
So when the story of...
Wait.
Hold on. I'm not finished yet.
Yeah, but let me just address
I'm
that
not
point.
finished yet.
Okay.
The story of the creation of Adam and Eve.
Yes.
Do you have a primary source for that information in the Bible?
Was Moses.
Was Moses present at the time of creation?
If he had a vision, that means he's a witness. Or if God dictated to him.
What does it say?
Yes.
First-hand testimony.
Yes. But
So,
if you have a
wait,
vision of
wait,
something,
wait.
or God reveals something, that makes you an eyewitness.
See, if I now say I have a vision of the flood, so I'm a first-hand testimony.
If Allah showed it to you, then yes.
Excuse me. If I claim that I have a vision,
That's good.
I have a vision.
No, that's good. We believe in
of
that.
the flood
No problem.
Yeah,
and the
that's it,
creation.
It's actually substantiated.
That's fine, yeah.
for us. No problem.
Wait.
No, we agree with
So
you.
you are saying,
He says he doesn't
if
agree
I
that it's
claim,
primary source,
if I
You don't know
claim,
what he's doing. You
I
don't know. Listen
claim
carefully.
that God inspired me
Your cigarette is messed up.
of the historical events, then I am a first-hand witness. Because this inspiration comes from God.
Well, if you saw it literally as a vision, then yes. Because
But
you
if
experienced
God
events.
inspires me of that information,
But if God gave you a vision, and you saw it happening.
So if God didn't give you a vision, but He just told you,
Feel free to correct
so
your
it's
brother.
not a first-hand
Feel
testimony.
free to correct him whenever you want.
Well, if you witness it, it means something you witnessed directly.
Sorry?
I agree with
Something you witnessed directly.
Wait.
He's right.
In the whole of the Old Testament and the New Testament,
I find it surprising that you
if
guys believe in
people
that.
have not directly
It's
seen
shocking.
it or had a vision,
And you're Christian.
then this is not a first-hand testimony. Is that what you're
You
saying?
disagree with Mansur, but you won't say
When we're
that.
willing
If
to
people
talk
have not directly
honestly
seen
and
it.
intelligently, we can see why Quran and why
If
Bible,
it's
or why not Bible.
I just want to know if you disagree with what Mansur just said.
If in the whole of the Old Testament
Can you
and New
not
Testament,
smoke, please?
Yeah.
We don't smoke.
people
It's
have
rude.
not
that
been
Christian
there
manners?
directly in the
Okay.
historical events,
Okay.
being there present physically,
Okay.
can you not smoke, JC, right? It's bad for you anyway.
The Soco or Coco film cameraman is smoking in our faces.
Okay.
Secondly, if they're not
It's
present,
illegal to smoke.
and if they did not have a direct vision of everything,
Among people.
then whatever they narrate and
by the
record
law of the
is
land.
not a direct testimony from a first-hand witness.
Okay.
Is that what you're claiming?
If that's what you believe it to
No,
be.
is that
But
what you're claiming?
I'm saying if someone has a vision or God has told someone directly.
Look, I am just
Yes.
trying to interpret that definition and see whether
but
you
we have
understood
to apply it biblically
So-
as well,
so-
in terms of
so
what
if-
Moses would have seen
If
or been revealed to by God. So we can, an eyewitness account is something that is very accurate.
But Muhammad is
That's not the claim here,
Yes,
then.
but obviously
You're not changing the definition
that-
today.
In terms of
What is the
vision-
definition again?
In terms of vision,
First-hand witnesses.
Okay.
Right. Was Moses a first-hand witness of the creation and Adam and Eve?
No.
Okay.
Or the flood.
Okay.
You don't have
Or
to
the flood.
believe it.
Okay.
I'm asking you,
We
was
do
he a
believe
first-hand
it.
witness?
You don't have
If
to
he
believe
had
it.
a vision,
We're dismantling
of it,
his definition.
Does it say he has a vision?
Again,
I'm asking
He
you.
wants to talk about the name.
Does he have a
and
vision?
Isa.
Don't
okay,
pull-
he is an eyewitness.
Listen,
Someone who
the
witnessed
bottom
something
line is
with
now,
eyes.
the
That's
bottom
what
line
Moses
is,
We're getting
claimed.
off
don't pull
topic,
things
but-
out you cannot substantiate
No,
and
no, no.
stand by.
Let's just go.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, that he said he doesn't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with the
Let's
definition.
carry on. So my question was now, where did the name Isa come from? Now I'm going to give you some biblical references.
Isa-
Wait. Let me give you my few minutes.
What are we discussing? Are we
The
discussing
origin
the
of the
text?
name Isa.
No, I'm not. That was never the discussion. Why do you want to discuss? I want to talk about
Why are you
apples. You
scared?
want to
Why
bring
are you
tears
scared?
in.
Why are you?
I'm
are you
scared.
of it?
Can you not see I'm shivering?
Okay, let's
Can you not see the signs of fear on me? I'm sweating.
Let's discuss this first.
Let's discuss
Because
it.
everyone will be
Stop using cheap language and cheap shots.
Okay.
They don't work on me.
Can we have a discussion?
Yeah, they don't work on
Okay.
me. I don't work for Soco Films. Okay.
We're going on different
okay,
things.
okay.
So I've asked for your courtesy to address my concern.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'll talk about it and I'll see you later, inshallah. Right, okay.
Thank you, Adnan. Thank you.
Which Isa?